what type of time we on, nigga? We on timing. What's good, gang? What's good, gang? What's good, nigga? Let me just flip the script so y'all niggas can see. Hey, y'all, kaboom, nigga. I got something new for y'all. Let me skedaddle. So, boom. Feel me? Awesome passive aggressive ways people got revenge. I ain't gonna lie, this channel that I've been watching, bro. This shit right here, be amazed. I ain't gonna cap, you gonna be amazed. Cause they been having some good shit. So we dropping the reaction. Let's get it. Alright, let's get up in this motherfucker.
Revenge. People say it's a dish best served cold, but it's a lot funnier when it's served as passive aggressively as possible. From handing the school bully a popsicle made of poop to embarrassingly exposing a scheming scammer, it's time to dive into some more awesomely passive aggressive ways people got revenge. Madhouse mischief. Getting cheated on is enough to drive you crazy.
And I would know a thing or two about that one. You know what I'm saying? Peter stories.
But what if you were cheated on, dumped, and then told to pack your things and leave, all while your partner was away on a work trip? Well, that's exactly what happened to one man called Duke. So he decided to drive her crazy, quite literally. After recovering from the brutal news, Duke bought a load of tiny noisemakers. They're incredibly annoying devices that make quiet, barely audible sounds at random intervals. You know, totally non-creepy things like children's laughter and...
That nigga is a psychopath. Hey, how do y'all think of that? Homeboy one day just decided, you know what, bro? Let me Google on the internet tiny noises that make creepy noises in the background for movie sets. And then bought one. And then said, you know what? Throw that bitch up in there. I bet she dead ass thought the place was haunted on some weird shit. Cause who thinks of that?
Odd scratching noises. Then, before he left the house, Duke sneakily hid these.
Bro, look at bro's face. Bro is excited. Bro is waiting to hear the news that Shorty went fucking like, I don't even know. Shorty's going bonkers.
Little noisemakers everywhere he could. A few months passed, and he was out with a friend one night when they asked if he knew any good pranks to play on people. Duke started to tell them about the noisemakers when they suddenly burst out laughing. Naturally, Duke asked why. It turns out his ex and her new partner had only lasted a few months.
Damn.
Apparently, they'd both been complaining to everyone about weird, inexplicable noises they'd been hearing.
My nigga, if I wake up one day and I just hear weird ass fucking noises inside of my crib, I'm leaving. Ain't no, what's that? No, it's finished.
Around their house. What's more, they often didn't hear the same things as each other. Neither had any clue what was going on, and after trying to figure it out for ages, the new partner had finally reached the only conclusion he could, that they were both going insane. Unable to stand it, he bailed from both the house and the relationship. And Duke's ex moved out shortly afterwards. When his friend had finished telling him everything, Duke was left.
Look at bro face. You look like the nigga from my book, No David or Bad David. You got that same face.
Grinning. The only truly crazy thing about the whole situation was how well his plan had worked. Don't middle with me. Occasionally, you'll meet people who are jerks for no reason other than, well, they're jerks. Reddit user Troubled Neighbor met just such a group of girls while dining at his favorite restaurant, back at the start of 2022. They seemed fine at first, sitting in the booth behind him and causing no trouble. After they left, one of them forgot their glasses. The waitress quickly asked if he could go after them and return them. Happy to help, he got up and followed them out. They were in their car, so he tried to flag their attention. But as he did so, the two women in the front seat burst out laughing at him. Then they immediately hit the gas and shouted some kind of slur while flipping him the
And this is what's wrong nowadays. Niggas can't even be nice. Niggas cannot be nice. Cause they probably was like, oh, he's a sim. I mean, I'm like, L man, beta male, all that other extra shit. Like, come on now. Bro was trying to help Shorty out, but y'all don't care. Y'all bitches having fun.
the finger out the window. Well, Troubled Neighbor suddenly didn't feel so kind. Still clutching the pair of glasses, he opened up one of the trash cans outside and threw them in.
King movement. You hold on. What a crown at? You drop this, boy. Go ahead and crown yourself with that.
And before heading back into the restaurant, A few minutes later, and lo and behold, the group of girls returned in search of the missing spectacles. The waitress pointed at troubled neighbor and they came over asking where he'd put them. His response? Oh, I put them in the trash outside after you gave me the middle finger. The girls left without apologizing, but then a further few minutes later they came back again asking which trash can he'd thrown them in. Troubled neighbor shrugged and gave them the finger and went back to eating his food, which was probably made all the more delicious thanks to that sweet side odor of revenge. You know what tastes even better than revenge though? Being the first to know about all my latest videos. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, or I'll have to exact some kind of revenge. Just joking. Or am I? Right, what's next? Naughty neighbors.
That's crazy.
If you've ever been kept awake at night by loud, antisocial neighbors, you'll know just how annoying it can be. But some people don't just sit and take it. Oh no, they strike back. Like this couple who decided to exact revenge on the noisy people upstairs in a rather novel way.
What's up? That seems like so much.
I wonder how they like those loud stomping footsteps at 4 a.m. And then we've got
I feel like a broom would have been better. Just like sitting there with a broom, but that's just me though.
Canadian comedian Matt O'Brien, who'd been suffering from the same problem. That is, until he realized he could connect to his annoying neighbor's Bluetooth speaker and play them a little something he made himself.
Your music sucks.
Your music sucks. Your music sucks. Your music sucks. Your music sucks. Your music sucks.
Please turn it down.
The lesson? Don't annoy the comedian downstairs that can both produce music and hack your speakers. Nobody's taken it further than YouTuber Matthew BR though, who invented his own special device to automatically take revenge if his neighbors are too loud. With a microphone attached to the wall, a nifty piece of circuitry, and 2 giant speakers, our man created an insane technological contraption. Anytime the neighbors are loud enough to hit red on the circuit for 10 solid seconds, the speakers...
That seems so extra though. Like this nigga took 19 steps when he could have just been like, alright bro, fuck it. Let me just throw my speakers on max. When I get it, it's like an automated response, but it seemed like a lot of work to me. I don't even know. That's a lot of work.
blast annoying music back through the wall at them, and it works surprisingly well.
Our neighbors are playing their loud music again, as you can probably hear. So I've got the system all set up here.
I ain't gonna lie, if I heard that, I'd be mad as fuck too. Imagine being the third
Genius.
neighbor. Hold up, my bad. Imagine being the third neighbor in between both these bum ass niggas. I'll be so fucking mad.
Now, admittedly, the original video features Matt blasting Who Let the Dogs Out to his neighbors, but I can't play that tune without the Baja Men taking all my ad revenue. But you get the idea, right? Either way, with all that loud music blasting both ways, I can't help but wonder if there's a third neighbor hiding outside the apartment holding a baseball bat. Cursin Courier. One day in April 2022, questionably named Reddit user SaltyWet247 was returning home from the supermarket with a heavy bag of groceries. When he got to his apartment block, a delivery man was stood outside with a parcel trolley. Salty let him in first while he checked his mailbox, but the delivery man got straight into the elevator and started running it up before Salty had a chance to get in with him. Considering Salty's apartment was on the 7th floor and he had all his groceries to carry, this was pretty annoying. But then things got a lot worse. The elevator stopped on the 4th floor and stayed there far longer than it should have. Then it went up to the 5th floor and stayed there for ages as well. Salty realized that the courier must have been leaving his trolley in the way of the elevator doors while he delivered the parcels, thus barring anyone else from getting in. What's more, the elevator kept going up after the 5th floor and kept stopping. Now Salty was incensed. Who did this guy think he was? So he decided to get petty. After waiting until the elevator got all the way to the 16th floor, Salty suddenly started dashing up the stairs, hitting every single elevator button on the way until he got to his apartment.
That's pure rage, pure anger. Some shit I would do. This nigga walk. You know how much work that is to like grab like groceries and shit and carry them shits up 7 flights of stairs out of pure rage, going boop, 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 I know that nigga was mad as fuck. I know that nigga was like, that nigga was partially delayed because of that elevator now. Because this nigga said, boop, 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 boop. That's some shit. I ain't gonna lie, I would have probably did worse. I probably would have met his ass at the bottom. And then, like, I don't even know. Probably throw some shit at him. Throw a fucking bitch ass nigga. Throw some paper at him, some shit like that.
Apartment on the 7th floor. Then he waited in the stairwell. The elevator descended past his floor, and by the time it got to the 5th floor, Salty could hear the courier loudly cursing from inside as he was forced to stop for the 3rd time in a row. And it was only going to get worse. Yep, the only thing getting successfully elevated now was his blood pressure. Get rocked. Over in California, they're known for having some pretty wild parties. But not everyone who lives there is so keen to get down. Geologist Melissa Scruggs doesn't usually mind it, but when a group of students next door stayed up all night partying, and for some reason moved a giant rock in front of her car, she saw.
White kids do anything with any random ass object, bro. Like, guys, look, what? There's a fucking pebble. Let's go. What the fuck is this? Like, why y'all got this big ass boulder here, bro?
A red. Little did they know, you don't mess with Melissa Scruggs.
Why not?
At 7:30 a.m. on the dot, she went outside with her auto chipper, which is essentially a big noisy automatic drill. The students hadn't long been asleep, and they were gonna be nursing some pretty terrible hangovers. So Melissa put on her headphones, turned on the drill, and got to work smashing the boulder to pieces in the loudest, most aggravating way possible. And it wasn't a quick job either. She sent harsh.
Oh yeah, she got that chipping hammer. She got that big ass joint too, with a chipping bit on it. It got some tape on that motherfucker. Yeah, it's been through some shit, but it still worked, don't it? It's still goddamn going. Look at her going dummy on the rock.
Searing noise into her neighbor's house for an entire 4 hours. That's one rough wake up.
I don't think I understand how much stamina that takes. I don't even think I could do 4 hours of straight chipping. You know how long it is to stand there and just. Cause bro, when you done your hands like this, cause I do construction hands like this, and it hurts after some time because it gets annoying. Don't ban me, cause that's what I just did.
Call. Finally, her work was done, and she relented. Melissa didn't just get her revenge; she absolutely smashed it.
She hosted.
Pooped out.
What'd he do?
Nobody likes a school bully, so when one gets what's coming to them, there's nothing more satisfying. Well, Brazilian Be Amazed viewer Luke Eckel used to be terrorized by just such a bully. And oh boy did he give them what was coming. The bully would routinely go around demanding food from the other students, threatening to beat them up if they didn't hand it over. Luke Eckel had been the victim of this food thievery many times. But one day after yet another lost lunch, he decided it was the last straw. So after returning home from school, he did as all angry people would do.
What?
That's right, he took a great big dump in the toilet, put some gloves on, fished it out, then slid it straight onto a popsicle stick.
No, bro would not go that far.
Okay, maybe not as all angry people would do. Anyway, he shaped the turd so it could pass as an ice pop, then melted some chocolate in a bowl and gave it a good dipping to cover up the smell. I think you might have already guessed where this is going. Our hero then left the sticky brown mess in the freezer overnight to harden. The next day came and Luke Eckel packed a poopsicle into his lunchbox. And sure enough, when lunchtime came, the bully swagged his way over to Luke Eckel with a nasty gleam in his eyes. Without hesitation, Luke Eckel handed him the frozen butt truffle. The bully cackled, took a big bite out of it, and immediately spewed.
Bro! Bro ate a shiticle. Bro gave him ice pop. He pooped out. Nah, bro, that's next level, bro. Nah. Yo, if bro, I wonder if bro got caught. If bro, nah, bro. Bro's a demon. Bro has tread on grounds I have never stepped on. Cause what the fuck?
Everywhere. Luke Eckel burst out laughing and the bully ran off crying. Safe to say, Luke Eckel was expelled.
Yeah,
but you can bet that bully didn't steal anyone's food ever again. So you may not be able to polish a turd, but you definitely can cover one in chocolate. keyed colleague. If you find a lost key with a phone number attached to it, you call the number to return it to its rightful owner, right? So when Emily McArdle from Liverpool, UK found this one, she did just that. But she was surprised to find out that the person on the other end was not happy to hear her voice. It turns out the key was part of an elaborate prank designed to get revenge on its apparent owner. You see, it didn't belong to Jeff at all. It was actually a fake key with his number written on it to entice people like Emily into unknowingly nuisance calling him. And whoever planted it had also planted a ton more, all marked with different names but the same number. Apparently Jeff, or whatever.
That's real villainous activity right now. That nigga needs to be investigated. That's some villainous shit to do to a nigga, bro. Nigga didn't even write his name down. They gave him Jeff Ted Bob. Like, that's tough.
His real name is, had an old work colleague he didn't get along with, so they'd gone about scattering the keys everywhere they could. What's more, it turns out that the revenge prank has been happening all across the globe as part of a viral TikTok trend.
TikTok ruined everything, man. TikTok ruined everything.
I don't know what anyone did to deserve that, but it must have been pretty damn bad. I'd recommend trying to work things out face to face instead. I mean, communication is key after all. Roomy retaliation.
What type of devious activity is this? Bro took a slice out of a slice. Bro was on bad timing, bro.
When you're living in the same house as someone, you're gonna have disagreements.
True.
It's pretty much unavoidable. Some housemates respond to these spats more passive-aggressively than others, though. One guy lived with someone that had a habit of putting the toilet paper on the wrong way round. So one day he told them to put it on the right way. But when he went to the restroom later on, he found...
How y'all put that toilet papers on? I don't mind a good mullet. Nice little mullet. I don't mind, bro. I don't mind, but... Hey, man, it don't matter to me, nigga. Just put the fucking shit on, bro. It don't matter.
this. Was that a bit of an overreaction from the roomie? Quite possibly, but I guess you just have to roll with it. Meanwhile, somebody else got revenge.
That was a terrible ass joke, bro. Do not ever make that shit again in my presence, boy. I'll beat your ass.
On their food stealing roomie by letting them know they'd left them a slice of pizza. Only it was a slice with a slice taken out, if you get what I mean. Not gonna lie, I'd still have eaten it. But of all the roommate disagreements, couples are likely to have the worst. One such couple had a tiff in 2013, so one of them decided to apologize by making the other a very special boxed lunch. A delicious ham, cheese, and plastic sandwich. Ah yeah, it wasn't an apology at all. Just another passive-aggressive screw you. I know some people call American cheese plastic cheese, but they don't usually mean it literally.
She don't love you no more, bro. Nah, she still love you. She still make you the same itch. She still love you, bro.
Shaming the scammer. Unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers in the world.
True.
I know I've fallen for a few. But sometimes they get exactly what's coming to them. Like when one tried to scam Reddit user Drunken Black Sheep out of $1,500 of her hard-earned cash. Sheep was in her mid-20s at the time and, in her own words, has a soft, girly appearance and an eternal baby face. Because of this, despite her being quite knowledgeable about cars, mechanics would always assume she was clueless. Well, one day she was at a garage getting her oil changed when one of the mechanics gave her car a free inspection. Afterwards, he solemnly told her that her vehicle was in such bad shape that it could break down at any second. To illustrate the point, he showed her the car's air filter, which was filled with dead grass, dirt, and dead insects. But Sheep knew her car was fine, and she'd literally just replaced the air filter the day before. So this goon had put all that crap in himself to try and freak her.
And that's why you gotta know how to fix your own shit. You see what this dickhead ass nigga tried to do to Shorty? She tried to get Shorty to pay mad bread for an oil change and a new filter and probably some other bullshit he made up. This why you can't trust mechanics, bro. These niggas be dickheads for real.
Her out. Suddenly, a devious plan formed in Sheep's mind. Rather than immediately calling him out, she played along, pretending she knew nothing about cars and acting as upset as she could muster. Then she rang her dad, who's a mechanic, and got him to play along too. Everybody at the garage was watching now as she cried down the phone about how much money she was going to lose. The mechanic could barely contain his smug delight. But then out of nowhere, Sheep's expression changed and she started laughing. The mechanic's smug face quickly turned to shock. Then she put her dad on loudspeaker. He was laughing too. Taking the air filter in her hand, Sheep told everyone how she'd only replaced it the previous day, so the mechanic must be a lying scam artist. She continued laughing, thrust the filter back at him, and told him to clean it out so she could leave. Now everybody, including all the other customers, were laughing. Everybody other than the mechanic, that is, whose face had gone completely red.
Dickhead.
Without another word, he took the filter and did as he was told. And after reinstalling her clean filter, Sheep rode off into the sunset. Now that's what I call karma. Taking out the trash. If you've ever worked in a kitchen, you'll know everyone's got to pull their weight, or the whole operation can go up in flames. Very literally. Well, Reddit user Elena247 works in a kitchen with one coworker who apparently didn't know that. Or more likely was just lazy. The coworker would routinely come in late, hungover, or not at all.
So it's one of them coworkers that you tell your boss about, right? He always lazy, always never on time, always doing some other dumb shit. You see how this motherfucker came in drinking all that dumb shit? Niggas like them need to be packed up day one. If you hear the crew complaining, pack them the fuck up, bro. Like, come on.
And when she did come in, she'd bring in her own dirty dishes with her and dump them on the side to be washed by someone else. As well as that, she'd leave half-filled mugs of coffee lying around until they curdled. Then when she was reprimanded about it, she'd dump them by the dishwasher too. After weeks of cleaning up the lazy coworker's mess, Elena finally reached the end of her tether. One day she came into work and was greeted with a big pile of gross, stinking dishes by the sink. Well, Elena knew exactly whose they were. So without a second thought, she gathered them all up and threw them straight into the trash can with a satisfying smash. It's safe to say the lazy coworker stopped bringing her dirty dishes in after that. And hey, as well as being forced to clean her own dishes, maybe she cleaned up her act while she was at it. Bedroom banter.
Nigga, what the fuck happened?
Everyone loves a trip to the beach.
Nigga, what the fuck happened in this room? Buddy got a little pool, What the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck? Is that alcohol? What the fuck going on? Got some Adidas steppers. What is that an outlet? Nigga, that's not no outlet. That's a landline. What the fuck? I don't even know what's going on in this nigga's room, bro. L room.
Bedroom banter. Everyone loves a trip to the beach, right? Even if you don't like sand, what's not to love about sun and sea? However, I definitely don't want any of that in my house.
Oh, no.
So I can't imagine how the owner of this bedroom reacted after he got back from vacation and found his roommates had transformed it into this. The guy in question had won the vacation and gloated about it for months, much to his roomie's annoyance. So they decided he could stay on vacation forever. I can't lie, it might be petty as hell, but the sheer amount of work that went into this is undeniably impressive.
So wait.
And come on, it's definitely tidier than it was.
So they gave him like some sand for the beach, and they gave him a little pool, little palm trees. That's a little funny prank.
Before. Having said that, there's no way all that sand is going to be efficiently tidied from that room. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys were still finding the stuff all over the house in the years that followed. Was it worth it? I don't know. Regardless, it was an outstanding effort. Cough it up. Although the COVID-19 pandemic made wearing face masks the norm, back in 2013 it was odd to see anybody wearing one unless you lived in Asia, where they've been used publicly for years. Reddit user Nishiwa didn't live in Asia, and sadly she'd recently been diagnosed with multiple cancers. The chemotherapy had left her weak and mostly confined to hospital, but on the rare occasion she was allowed out, she had to wear a mask to protect herself. Well, on one of these rare days, Nishiwa was out at her local mall and had sat down on a bench to relax. Suddenly, a young teenage boy came over to her and started making fun of her for no reason whatsoever. Though making fun is putting it lightly.
Little kids is just always being dickheads for no fucking reason, bro. Like, go do something else, bro. Go play in the park, bro.
quietly. He told her she had the plague, that she was putting everyone else at risk, and even went as far as to say she should go and die. Oh boy, seems like a nice kid then. And since Nashiwa stood up, which only encouraged the little brat to get closer and square up to her. But just as he was within inches of her, Nashiwa lowered her mask, coughed twice, and
That's a defense mechanism. Ah, shit, my dick. But like Shorty said, you know what? You were taught that shit. Ah, little nigga. W.
in his face and followed it with a small oops. The effect was immediate. The boy went as pale as a ghost, his mouth hung agape, and after a few seconds, he ran away. Nashiwa sat back down and relished in the moment. Despite the mask, there was no masking the sweet feeling of revenge. Car park chaos.
What the fuck?
If you drive a car and you ever wrong someone, watch out, because it seems there's no more popular way of getting back at somebody than messing with their precious automobile. You can help yourself by not parking like an idiot though. In other words, like this guy who made the mistake of parking over 2 spaces at once. In case you couldn't tell, that's a guy who made the mistake of parking over 2 spaces at once.
You see how it's a Beamer, right? Niggas who drive Beamers think they Jesus. That's why they double park, they do all this dumb shit. Nigga has an M4, whatever fuck it is, I don't care, I don't know about Beamers, but nigga has a car. Nigga has a Beamer. He felt like he was Jesus, nigga. He got what he got. Nigga look like he got wrapped up to a trash can.
Once. In case you couldn't tell, that's a whopping great dumpster that someone's plastic wrapped to the vehicle. And whoever owned this car made the same mistake, though their punishment was arguably worse. Yeah, someone managed to literally flip this little smart car over onto its
Niggas with car tipping. It was like 3 niggas. They said, man, fuck this shit.
side, so it only took up 1 space. More effective than flipping the bird, I suppose. But car-related vengeance isn't just reserved for rogue parkers. When one man had the bright idea of cheating on his girlfriend, she paid him back in a rather novel fashion. That is, by investing in an absolute gold mine's worth of sanitary towels and completely covering his car with them. That's one.
Do you know how much effort that takes to stand there and just, I don't know what they do, but it's, and bro, you know what the worst part is she had time. Look how perfectly lined up these bitches is. Look how insane. I don't see no clutters, no mistakes. These motherfuckers is gloriously planted. Look at the accuracy of this, man. Nah, this was done with love, tender, and care, bro.
One almighty effort. Period. Where there's a will,
there's a way.
as sad as it can be, death is a natural and inevitable part of life. But if you've worked hard, by the end of your life, you might have a good amount of cash to leave to whoever you want. Reddit user GamerNerd93's grandpa had prepared early for the eventuality and written his will way back in 1998. The house he owned with his wife was to be sold along with all their possessions, and the money split 3 ways between GamerNerd's father, aunt, and cousin. It makes sense, as all 3 were raised by the couple from birth. The problem was, ever since the will had been written, GamerNerd's father had demanded that the lion's share of the money go straight to him. Why? Well, he didn't have a reason other than greedily claiming it
Dad, he just wanted the bread.
was rightfully his.
No,
Anyway, jump to March 2022, and the greedy papa had made the 10-hour journey to Grandpa's house just to start up the age-old argument again. By this point, everyone was sick of it, so old Gramps decided to take action. GamerNerd got a phone call while his dad was still away. It was Gramps, informing him that the will was now being split 7 ways, to include GamerNerd and his sisters as well. Meaning far from getting the lion's share, his dad is now getting a whole lot less than before. Zing! It just goes to show, where there's a will, there's a way of getting the perfect passive-aggressive revenge. Trashing the Trasher. Alright, settle in, because if you think you've heard some wild tales so far, nothing compares to this one. Reddit user Donut Clouds lives in a quiet neighborhood in Pennsylvania, USA. Or at least it was quiet until his super trashy neighbor moved in. By super trashy, I'm talking blaring terrible music at all hours, smoking while 9 months pregnant, and being a general nuisance. Worst of all though, she started throwing her trash bags over into Donut Cloud's yard, which is bad enough on its own. but the neighborhood's garbage policy requires all trash be put into a special purple bag or it won't be collected. Well, Donut Cloud's neighbor, we'll call her Susie, didn't want to pay the small amount extra for the purple bags. So the bags she yeeted into Donut Cloud's yard weren't even being picked up. When Donut Clouds confronted her about it, she just laughed. And the cops didn't care either. So it went on for months with Donut Clouds having no option but to buy twice the number of purple bags.
See, first of all, that's why we have guns. That's why we have guns. They resolve issues. She throw that shit over there again, she get shot. What's she gonna do? Tell me not to shoot her? What the fuck? You can get your ass beat. You can get shot. It don't matter, nigga. What the fuck going on, bro?
To wrap up Susie's trash as well as his own. But it couldn't go on forever. It was a relatively cheap neighborhood, and Donut Clouds knew that although he owned his home, Susie only rented hers. A devilishly devious plan began to form. Donut Clouds got the number for Susie's land.
Y'all heard that? Rented the home. Oh, that hit diff, bro. You feel that power surge, nigga.
Landlord rang him and offered to buy the house next door for a cut above its market value. The landlord jumped at the offer. So the very next thing Donut Clouds did was walk up to the fence Susie so loved throwing her trash over and handed her a big fat eviction notice. Oh, Susie didn't like that. But no matter how much she protested, she couldn't argue with the law. 31 days later and Susie was gone, while Donut Clouds had just netted himself a whole new patch of land. Damn, he really took out the trash in more ways than one. Alright then, that's...
Alright, you know what I'm saying? Let me... W fucking channel, bro. I will be watching more of this shit, though. These niggas, like, they got some fire ass shit going on. They got some fire ass shit. But y'all know what to do, my nigga. Like the shit. Subscribe to it. Follow me, nigga, cause I'm on bad time. Nah, I'm on a decent time, my nigga. Alright, my boys, I'm gonna catch y'all. Adios, my nigga.